Hello, this is Jeffrey Powers, and you are on the Ustream channel for geekazine.com. This week we are going to be doing the 5-minute show on a very interesting topic, and it's entitled "Someone is Always Challenging Someone." And basically, what it is we're talking about the iPhone, Blackberry issues, and we're going to see if we're going to explore it a little bit. So, I just need to move a couple things around here. We'll move this over here, and we'll move this over here. And let's get started, shall we? Already checked the levels. We're all good there. So here we go. Today in the gym, I was watching a report that Apple iPhone was challenging BlackBerry for market share in this corporate world. I agreed to the report. Apple had a better user interface than BlackBerry. BlackBerry is too expensive in their messaging system, and iPhone looks a lot better than BlackBerry devices. Then I got to thinking about it. Is this really news? I mean, yeah, we've got one company trying for a niche, and another company has. However, what company hasn't tried to emulate or compete with another company's corner hold before? This is the 5-Minute Show. My name is Jeffrey Powers. You are on geekazine.com. The 5-Minute Show is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network, found at techpodcast.com, as well as podcasternews.com. Thanks for tuning in. 608-205-4378, geekazine@gmail.com if you want to add your comments or if you want to suggest a topic for the next 5-minute show. You know, Apple's been the underdog for many years. iTunes and iPods are really what broke Apple's shell and put them on the forefront of something. Even though iPhone is not just there yet, Apple really shows how cutting-edge technology should look. At one time or another, a company is an underdog. How many people remember when Microsoft came to power? What was the leading company before Cisco took the reins? Google wasn't the first #1 search engine. Google didn't even start until 1998, whereas the web started in 1991. And no, it wasn't Yahoo. Webcrawler, Lycos, Excite, and Dogpile were a few of the favorites back then. If we look at the phone market, names like LG didn't show up until later. In the earlier days, you most likely had a Nokia phone or a Motorola phone. Before Dell came onto the scene, you had IBM, Compaq, or Packard Bell computers. In 1996, Dell overtook Compaq in the personal computer market. And where's Compaq nowadays? To be the new kid on the block is not an uncommon occurrence. To take over a market from another is, once again, really not a new occurrence. Keeping that status, well, that might be tougher to do. So let's go back to the iPhone and BlackBerry issue. What can Apple really do to rival this product? Well, first of all, Apple needs to do some better integration into Microsoft. You're most likely going to have to connect to Microsoft servers. BlackBerry's biggest issue is that you had to purchase a BlackBerry server, which up until a couple weeks ago was a pretty expensive acquisition. IT admins have enough to worry about. Another server to handle email should not be one of them. Apple's biggest issue is simply third generation, otherwise known as 3G. Even Steve Wozniak says Apple iPhone missed the mark when they didn't even put it into the phone. In a nutshell, 3G is to phones what digital cable is to TV. If you don't have cable, then you have a set. Do that again. In a nutshell, 3G is to phones as digital cable is to TV. If you don't have cable, then you don't have a set that could possibly get 100 channels. That's wrong. We'll do that again. In a nutshell, 3G is to phones as digital cable is to TV. If you don't have cable, then you have a television set that could possibly get 100 channels, but only have 5 to 6. 2G would be like having extended basic cable, and 3G is the full-blown digital 500-channel cable. Steve Jobs answered why there was no 3G in September of 2007. He said it was a power hog. The iPhone has an 8-hour talk time on the phone. 3G would suck that down to 2.5 to 3-hour range. Instead, Apple took the stock market in a phone with a powerful Wi-Fi system. AT&T says that 3G iPhone is planned for sometime this year. That is, if 3G can curb its power appetite. However, Apple should really bite the bullet if it doesn't make an iPhone with either a larger battery or with a 3G switch. Turn it on, turn it off at will. So you don't turn it on, turn it off at will. So if you need the ability, you have it. The biggest thing would be to have the iPhone customizable. Do that again. The biggest thing would be to have the iPhone customizable. IT admins like it when they can control the system. It's not because they get pleasure in it. It's because they know what's on the system, and they can better troubleshoot their problem, especially mobile phones, for the problem won't occur in the office. It'll occur out on the field. For instance, let's say you have a corporate computer at home, and that person decides to install web shots on it. Once installed, the computer starts acting slowly. When they call into the house tech support, do you think they're going to tell them that they installed web shots? Most likely not. Sometimes it's just because you don't even think about it. Other times is don't want to hear a lecture on web shots, how web shots is not corporate software. Customizable interfaces mean tailoring to a company that can really boost production. Some companies, do that again. Customizable interfaces mean tailoring to a company that can really boost production. Some companies run their own specialized apps that shouldn't get out to the public. These apps make corporations millions, if not billions of dollars. When I worked at the Department of Revenue, we talked about making home assessments something an appraiser can do on a laptop. At that time, the appraiser would write down all the info, snap analog pictures, and then come back to the office to input all the data. Imagine if they had an application that would work on the iPhone. The assessment would be done in the time they can walk through the building, including pictures. No need to go back to any office. In today's corporate world, we are always seeing one company go after another. It's all about standing on top of the hill and pronouncing yourself king. However, some people miss that top because the premise of king of the hill is to expect that somebody is trying to knock you off. And somebody will do that eventually. For the 5-Minute Show, my name is Jeffrey Powers. geekazine@gmail.com or 608-205-4378. Thanks a lot for listening. Take care. And that was the 5-Minute Show. You can check that out over on www.geekazine.com. Once again, my name is Jeffrey Powers, geekazine@gmail.com or 608-205-4378. Thanks a lot for watching.